Ron's map so that people could not only evaluate all their options, consumers could, and consumers could compare, literally, side by side, efficiently, but also consumers could consult their community intelligence. They could crowdsource. They could share their intention. They could either brag, hey, check it out, I'm about to buy this fancy new GT. Or they can inquire from their brother, their uncle, their mother, their friend, their coworker, hey, what do you know about this particular car? Or, hey, by the way, check this out, I'm interested in this, how can you help me? And when that happens, a really magical thing happens for the dealer and for the vehicle and, of course, for the manufacturer. Not to give favor to any manufacturer, but let me give you a for instance. When I ask a friend about a Ford F-250 that I'm about to buy from Zellinger Motors, I gave positive word of mouth about Ford Motor Company, certainly about the Ford F-250, and certainly about Zellinger Motors. So you didn't have to stand on the rooftop with your bullhorn or your inflatable gorilla and scream it to the traffic driving by. What happened is I carried your message in a positive context to my sphere of influence. And in the social media world, many of your listeners, I'm sure, are aware that the average user today, the average 37-year-old male and or female, have 196 social media friends. Mm-hmm. That's just a powerful way to deliver your message or have someone deliver your message for you. So
more importantly than that, Ron, I think it's very important we all understand something that, I'm a car guy. I spent 25 years as a dealer, extended in the real world well before I saw the value of the virtual one. And, there's a lot of buzzwords out there now that are building on previous past proven wisdoms, things like transparency and relevancy and networking. They all existed when we used to do that by being honest and open and giving the customer the information they needed to make a decision. And networking used to happen at the Chamber of Commerce meetings and the ball games. The amplification and the leverage extended by platforms such as Ron's Map, by using technology to take proven wisdoms and apply them into being able to sell cars in a down market, and the leverage of resources that you're able to extend by having the SEO footprint of a communal site, which is technically what Ron's Map starts at. Cars sell cars. It used to be the real-world showroom. You'd differentiate from Car Row by lining up all your vehicles out front, making a nice display, and tempting people to pull off the highway. Well, we're doing the same thing now on the Internet. Superhighway with Ron's Map by aggregating vehicles in a very unique manner. So I guess what I'm steering you towards is why don't we get into the nuts and bolts specific physical differentiators that really do make Ron's Map a consumer-centric site that's dealer-focused.
Sure, absolutely. There are a variety of I guess, features that, our marketing representative likes to call them, that make Ron's Map unique and function in the way that you just described. And probably the single most important element is empowerment. We empower a consumer through things like transparency. We empower a consumer through things like all of our ability to aggregate vehicles online. And when we talk about aggregating vehicles online, we mean everything. Let me give you a hint. Just today alone, from an indexing standpoint, Ron's Map has over 2 million vehicles available online for a consumer at a snap, at a glance. And that number is going to grow in order of magnitude of 2 and 3 and 4 million within a matter of maybe a week or two. So we're
by the time you go live with the URL public, realistically, what sort of an inventory pool do you expect to be able to leverage as far as a footprint on the Internet?
3.5 million.
Cool. Go.
So now, of course, transparency is real important, right? I had a dealer share with me the other day. He had an epiphany. He said, you know what, Ron, if a dealer doesn't get the fact that transparency isn't important, have them shut down their website and put curtains on their showroom. Right? Mm-hmm. Transparency is important. Even at the core level, people need to understand what we're doing, what we're trying to accomplish, we meaning the dealers. So we make the market as transparent and as live and as real-time as possible. Consumers really need to know that there are 17 other GTs in the market around them. Consumers really need to know what the average price of those vehicles are, what the minimum and the high is. And the reason they need to know that is the dealerships, the dealers, the GMs, the salespeople are really great people, and they want to communicate the value of their vehicle. And the sooner the consumer can know exactly that, hey, this salesperson's giving me accurate, precise information, now rapport gets built. And the way we do that is we empower consumers with information. And, of course, we empower dealers. You mentioned our inventory, a large